Hi, everybody, and welcome. Today is the Knoxville Business Growth Collaborative, and we are talking about monthly recurring revenue. Who doesn't want that, right? You are having money come in regularly into your bank account. You are providing excellent service to the same people. They are in your community. They are in your flock. You've got your arms all around them. You're teaching them and engaging with them and letting them engage with each other, network with each other. This is the subject that we're talking about today is micro communities. And I say micro specifically because you do not have to have thousands of people, thousands of followers to benefit from this training. You can have 30, 40, 50, 100, whatever you have. If they are, now I'm getting this from Simon Sinek, so it's not my original thought, but he says a tribe is a group of people who have a common rally cry, and what you do as their leader is you provide them a place to gather so they can connect with each other and connect with you. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. When you do those things, and it's easier than you think, then you can monetize and charge money, and then that money just comes in every month. It helps you sustain your business so you can pour even more into your community, pour more love into your audience, your flock that you've got your arms around. So you're going to hear me say words like tribe and flock and community and followers and all kinds of other words. It all means the same thing. It's the people who buy from you or might buy from you. People that follow you because they're interested and they want to learn from you. So let's get started. We're going to have a guest join later after near the end of the presentation. And hi. So we've got a live audience here in the room with me as well as the online people. So welcome everybody. Now, we're going to have a guest join from Minnesota a little bit later. She's a sales expert, and she is working with me on a brand new platform that is not social media, and it is safe from all the algorithms and the frustration that we might all be experiencing if we have a group already. So let's jump in. Now, let's meet the people in the room here first. I'm going to just turn the camera so we can see our audience. And there are microphones around the room, so go ahead and introduce yourself. Say a little bit about your business and yourself. And do you want to start, Vernon?
My name is Vernon Corum. I'm a real estate agent in the Smoky Mountains. I help investors market, manage, and monetize their short-term and vacation rentals.
Okay.
Hello, my name is Mona Word. I'm with Borough Benefit Group, and we assist business owners with business administration, insurance, payroll, and benefits.
Fantastic. How'd you hear about this today?
There's another tech organization. It's a network organization, and when I get their emails, somehow I got an email from this organization too.
Fantastic. Yeah. Fantastic. I'm so glad you're here.
I'm so glad to be here. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Carroll. I own Moody Blooms Healing Arts, and I do sound healing, crystal singing bowls. I do groups, so I go to your house, I go to your business. If you have a team that you want to support, help regulate their nervous system, they're working hard for you, that's what I do.
Keep everybody calm.
Yes.
Happy.
I'm Veronica Eulenberg. I'm a freelancer. I help people fix and maintain their websites, and I do various software solutions. Lately, I've been doing WordPress and React development and teaching kids code.
Teaching kids code. I love that. Are they very eager to learn and very excited about it?
So the kids, they like Minecraft and Roblox.
True.
And so there's like with Minecraft, there's Minecraft education. And so they just go through the course to, it's self-taught, and then I'm in the room to answer any of their questions.
That's fantastic. And I just want to say this too about networking and competition. So my agency that I partner with, PJ at the Web Mavericks, okay. It looks like we're not showing up on LinkedIn. That's okay. We're also on Facebook and YouTube right now. So hopefully LinkedIn will get caught up. Got a little warning on my screen. So I partner with PJ Diefenbach at the Web Mavericks, and he does websites, and so does Veronica. You heard her say that. So we have still found a way to partner with each other because she writes code and we don't write code. She's an expert at using APIs, which is just a means of letting two websites communicate with each other that normally would not have a way to communicate with each other. And so we are proposing to work with Veronica in this way. So we have a lot of people who want our help to get new leads and manage those leads. And they are, a lot of them, home services companies, such as plumbers and HVAC and electricians. And there's even one that's an attorney. And they have this package software that works very, very well to run the actual operations of their business. It's so great that there's really almost no competition for it. It's got like a little blue ocean, and it runs every aspect of their business perfectly, and they love it. It does nothing to generate leads, bring in leads, nurture those leads up to the sale, and it does nothing after the sale is done to continue to nurture that lead over long time, months or years, to stay in touch and stay top of mind and ask for referrals and ask for testimonials. So they have this package that they love. We've got the other two parts, and we are working with Veronica to write a bridge, build a bridge from our software so the lead can come in. We generate the lead for them, bring in all these. Once they say, yes, I want to make an appointment, I want you to come and look at my whatever it is, then that bridge kicks in and they jump into that operations software. And as soon as that job is completed and done to whatever outcome it is, then they bridge right back into our system, and then we nurture them along and finish the job. So even though she does some of the same work we do, we're able to work together, make a much more beautiful, streamlined product for our potential customers to purchase from both of us. So that's a really great way that you can collaborate with people that are even in your same industry or do something similar than you do when you serve the same client. So here we go. Thank you, everybody, for introducing yourself. You all have some note-taking papers there. We're going to put up the slides. Mm-hmm. All right. So we are in a new era of influence. We are, of course, in the digital age. We've been in the digital age for a couple decades already. I remember when they first started talking about going paperless. Offices are going to go paperless. Well, we're still not paperless, are we? Paper does have its place. We've been in the digital age, again, probably since I'd maybe say the 90s. It's when the internet kind of hit businesses and homes. And before that, it was being used by the government and by colleges. But our world got turned upside down. So three decades, just about, I would say. And with that has been a huge shift in, my doodad's not going to work. It's okay, though. A huge shift in the way influence is delivered to people who would be moved by it, okay? So here we go. Stand over here. So the evolution of influence, I'm only sad because each one of these is supposed to come up one at a time on a click. It's because I'm broadcasting in StreamYard, I guess, that let's just get the whole thing all at one time. So traditional media era was from the beginning of print, the stone tablets, I might even picture, all the way up to probably the late 80s, early 90s when the digital age came in. And the traditional media would be certainly instead of a Google or anything like that, we had the yellow pages. You had literally bulletin boards where you could poke things up on a wall and people would read them, because if they wanted information, they had to go to the bulletin board to find it. Magazines, newspapers, television, radio, billboards. Billboards were much bigger business back then than they are now. Aside from the fact that they were distracting of the nature, so that was pretty hard on billboards right there. It's very, very hard to measure your ROI in a lot of these methods of gaining influence, right? It's very, very hard. A billboard, for example, they say this is a good location, the person selling the billboard, because 6,000 cars drive past it every day. But you can't measure how many people actually act because they saw your billboard. And television, I mean, the best thing you can do if you're going to use any of these forms still, and they are still around and they are effective for their own purpose, is to use a unique code or a unique means. QR code now is what people can do once they scan that from that magazine. Then when that lead comes in, you know it came from that magazine. So, so the traditional media era, the biggest difference is access to your customer. In this traditional media era, oh, I can point with this. Oh yes, it won't point on that though. It'll point here. Here we go. The biggest difference is someone else controlled your access to your customer. In this traditional media era, you couldn't just reach directly into the customer's mind or eyes or living room or into their book that they have in their hands or anything. You had to go through this person that controlled the TV and the radio and the billboards and the magazine. And that has, through all of this, is the biggest switch. Literally, it turned upside down. And the people who noticed it and recognized it in the 90s for what it was happening, they, of course, have been able to capitalize better than others who finally go, oh, I get it, after 10 or 15 or 20 years of seeing it. And then they say, oh, now I get it. I am not an early adopter of anything. So I watch and I watch and study. And so I'm one of the people that says, oh, I get it. And so the early adopters are benefiting greatly from recognizing that the internet, like my partner, PJ, he's been in business 25 years, advertising, everything Google. From the time Google came out, he knew, oh, this is going to be big. He went full in. He knows all about the Google business profile, placing ads, SEO, every time it changes, because it's like that they live to change things, right? Every time it changes, he stays right on top of it. But he recognized real early on that this Google thing is the future. And this digital online marketing. I remember people said the internet was a fad. It's not going to be around. And they also said it was evil, just pure evil, and that it's going to destroy the fabric of America. Yeah. And so if you think about that, people said the same thing about the TV when it was putting the radio out of business, the same thing about the radio when it was putting books out of business. And any of them are a tool, and in the wrong hands, any tool can be really horrible. And we have that on the internet. We have some really horrible stuff on the internet. However, the whole entire internet is not horrible. So we come into early social media, again in the 90s, and platforms started coming on, and they literally democratized how you get attention and how you can influence people, and literally flipped the tables, just flipped it. In fact, I would have said that the Yellow Pages doesn't exist anymore. However, they morphed into a digital company to reach your customers, and that is called Thrive. And it includes a database for your people. That's, a lot of people don't know it because it has such a different name, but that's where the Yellow Pages came from. So all those advertisers, tens of hundreds of thousands of them, are Thrive customers, and that's their segue into digital. So the early social media is when you did not have to go through a third party. You did not have to pay someone early on, pay someone to get attention and access to someone that you could help with your services. And then the creator economy came along, and so that's influencers, right? And so that came right out of the early social media. And people, at first, they were just filming whatever they were filming because it was fun, and they just put it up. Has anyone ever seen the very first YouTube video? It's one of the creators of YouTube, and he was just down in the street of his town going, here I'm on the street, and just talking about the sun is shining today or whatever, the very, very first YouTube video. And it was so much fun because, and the thing I love about social media is I can stay in touch with all my family and friends across the whole nation or the world, and all at one time. So you have to write letters to each person, right? That's what we used to do. We used to get a piece of paper and a pen and we would write letters. And so early social media just took all the shackles off, and it was fun and fresh, and the influence was out of this world. Early in social media, if you posted something, let's say you had 300 or 400 people, friends following you, you posted something, all of them saw it. Whatever you posted, they saw. They were your friends. And that was before the social media designers figured out that they wanted to control that with algorithms. So we actually, during these two phases of the early social media into the creator economy, once they figured out, ooh, wait a minute, this is rampant. People are really loving this. We're going to figure out a way to monetize it. So, and again, the social media platforms are free. They take money from advertisers. So they're not giving us, they're not a charity or anything. But then they figured out, oh, people really like this. Let's make them pay for it. So now they introduce these algorithms, and the algorithms determine who sees what of your, whatever it is you're putting up there. And so in order to reach all of the people that you want to reach, now you have to pay. And I don't know that that's a bad thing. First of all, the whole thing's free. So how can you complain about something that's free, right? Free to use. You can study and learn and watch the nuances and shift and pivot with them all the time, which is what most people try to do and are doing. And you can get an account and you can pay. And the nice thing about paying to get the attention that you want is you can narrow it all the way down to that exact person that shops in that store, makes this much money, has this kind of job, and lives in this zip code. And so that's kind of actually good for us, because before we were just kind of throwing it out there and catching who we could catch. All right, so the early social media spawned the creator economy, which I call influencers, but it's musicians or it's artists or it's the lifestyle people or people even who do create the cards, greeting cards, and anything that you really enjoy doing, flower arranging, growing a garden. They're very popular sites that people are growing a garden and they're just telling you all about the dirt and everything. And that's how the influencer era was ushered in. And now we're looking at tribal leadership. So you're taking those people that are following you, interested in the same thing that you are. They want the teachings and the wisdom that you have to share. They're already under your wing. You're already helping them out. And you're going to be able to kind of organize that in a way, deliver some pre-recorded courses to them, give them a place to gather where they are able to communicate with each other and with you, and share some like a rally cry, share in their passion for what brought them there in the first place. And if it is gardening, then yeah, that's great. If it's the right kind of wine to drink with the right kind of food, or crocheting, or sound bowls, and relaxing your whole nervous system, I think we could just all use some of that. So the tribal leadership is what we're going to focus on today. And I do mention monthly recurring revenue. It's a very important piece of being in business. You need money. If you are not making money in your business, you have a very expensive hobby. Or you might as well file for a nonprofit, right? So we need money to exist and maintain a business. And so it's not bad to say, I'm going to monetize my community. I'm going to make money from these people who love me and want to follow me. That is not a bad thing. So we'll just say that right up front, because I don't want you to carry into this training that it's, what's a word I'm trying to think of? What that feeling that you get when you're taking advantage of the people who want or need you. You are not doing that. So now we are in the tribal leadership. So this is the development of tribe leadership. So at the bottom, the very foundation, you must have trust. The whole thing won't work at all. You won't have any followers. You won't have any little gaggle of anybody to put your arms around if they don't trust you. And so trust is just the absolute foundation. And if you are coming from your heart and you're teaching and training and sharing something that you truly love and believe in, you're gonna build that trust because you're so authentic. And then, of course, that builds your authenticity. So you have either a degree or some experience in life, something that declares that you are, like, for example, I'm teaching this. I'm an automation expert. I'm a business systems expert. And I've been in business 16 years, been through the ringer, right? I've seen the tears and the hair pulling and the pounding fists, and I've seen the highs where, everything's going great. And so I have this authenticity that's to say, I've been there, I got you. And what I am teaching you is going to help you. So then direction, of course. We don't just want to gather people around just to talk and say, hey. We want to be going in a direction together that's going to benefit each of us and us all as a group. And empowerment, of course. So we want, even though I'm the leader, let's say, or you're the leader of your tribe, you want them to all be empowered in their own lives outside of what you're doing as well. And that also grows the community bigger because they want to bring their friends in. And they want to share that community with people that they know are like-minded. So I belong to a women's prosperity network. Give them a plug. And this is for business women coaching. It's 3 sisters that actually are real life sisters. They grew up in the same house and everything in New York. And we're all business women. And when I first heard about it, I thought, oh boy, putting all these women in one place, what can happen. because there's some, I guess you could say, competition. There's some people in there that do the same kind of business. And I thought, oh, man, are we all asking for some kind of drama, right? Drama is a nice way to say it, drama. But what I saw was in our breakout rooms and in our efforts to work together on maybe a project or things like that, they put us together. I've seen in 5 or 6 years I've been in there, 2 women that were in that group that were very aggressive and sell. If I'm talking to you, I'm selling you something, not collaborating and not just trying to help each other, right? And what I saw was nobody even had to say anything. They just left. And I felt like the reason is because they didn't have air to breathe. There was no one responding to that style. There was no one buying from them. There was no one supporting and being like them in that group. And I'm sure they said, bunch of fuddy-duddies, I'm out of here. They wanted to go somewhere else where they could sell, and where that tactic was going to work well. And I'm sure they found groups where it would work well. It just didn't work well in this group. And so the group keeps itself whole and growing naturally, holistically, maybe is a good word, is what I'm trying to say. And people might wander in that don't really fit, and they'll just wander right back out. And so that is always it's a good sign of a really healthy group. You don't have the drama, you don't have strife. And then, of course, the legacy. So the leader, we're all going to go somewhere someday. We're not going to stay on this earth, on this plane forever. And so when we leave this place, we can leave a mark, and all the people that you touched, then they can become leaders and touch more and more people and make life better for people. So that's the legacy that you're creating a lasting impact with your efforts to build this community. So now this one's going from top to bottom. So you're first going to define your core values. First, certainly you have to be very, very clear about where you're coming from, what it is that you stand for, your core values. And those, of course, are the core values for the group. Develop a consistent voice. And so some groups, they have that hard-hitting, don't mess with us, that's what we're here for, get out of our way, right? We're making a difference. Other groups are more nurturing, soft, and we want to get like water in the Grand Canyon, right? We want to get things done over time with just the right amount of, and friction is too strong of a word, but just the right amount of maybe pressure guidance on so we can influence in a way that we're comfortable with. So that's a consistent voice. Foster meaningful interaction. Of course, you want the people in your community to have a voice. Every single person, if they want a voice, to have a voice. And so when you have a community manager, then that person can try to help people be a little more interactive with other people if they feel like it. It's like a moderator in a meeting. If you notice someone's super quiet, not really talking much, you can call on them and see what they think. And so you want to just make sure that everyone who wants to participate gets to participate in whatever level that they feel comfortable. And of course, empower community leaders. So you, as the influencer, the tribe leader, you're going to naturally see people bubble up that have the qualities to take over portions of some of the work that needs to be done. They can break off and start doing masterminds for a certain subset of your following, those kind of things. And they embody your values and they help maintain and grow the community, they just naturally rise up as leaders. Okay. So this is how you can monetize your community. This is what we're talking about today, right? So in the upper left, educational products. You can sell online courses, you can sell workshops and digital guides. And any of those you could do a free here's a free sample. Maybe even a workshop. If it's a 2-hour workshop, you could do the first or a 20-minute portion of it for free and say, look, if this resonates with you and you like it, then you can get the whole thing for, I don't know how much money, $47, whatever. So you can use any of these as a lead magnet to give them a little taste and to get them to purchase the thing. And community access. So you can charge people to be in your community. My highest suggestion in this is to have a free community and a paid community. And the free community feeds the paid community. And so you can always be inviting people to your free community, and it feels good. A lot of people don't like to sell. They don't feel comfortable selling, and it just makes them all nervous. And believe me, I've been there. Literal physical reaction to selling. And I think this is probably a good time to check that because she's a sales expert. But the thing I love about this is it's free. It's your free community. So I love giving stuff away to people that I care about, right? And I know it's a great community. So I can shout it from the rooftops. It's free. Come, everybody join. And then there's no hesitation and you don't feel like you're a sleazy salesman, right? Once they're in your free group, then you naturally are going to talk about the things that you offer that they can pay for, which is the paid group. It's just going to come up in conversation constantly, and they're going to want more of you, more access to you. And let me just see if she's in here. Yes, she's here. Okay. Tammy, let's see if you can, can you hear us, Tammy, dear?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, wonderful. All right. So let me see if I can spotlight you. Can you see the slide that I'm showing?
I can.
All right. So that's what we're talking about is how to monetize, and the sales expert is here. So we've talked all about how influence has changed over the decades and how to build a community and the trust and loyalty and all the facets that are so important. Now we're talking about monetizing. It's perfect time for you to share some sales information with us. And I was just saying how a lot of people feel like they don't want to sell or they're not comfortable to sell, and how a free group and a paid group can really help with that. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to get you solo. Ta-da! And so there's Tammy Crea, and she's
Hello.
the co-owner of Savvy Sales Strategy. And you want to tell us a little more about your bio?
Sure. Basically, what it comes right down to is that I've been in sales and marketing for, I don't even want to say the number of years. I started in 1982. I'll let you guys do the math. But I started in publishing. I have sold through magazines. I used to do print magazines. I have sold to local business. I then transitioned later on into high ticket sales and launches and sold to coaches and consultants and anybody else online. Sold millions of dollars worth of education more than anything else, but also in terms of helping a business to grow, strategy and business development. Because what it really comes right down to is selling should never feel like selling. Selling is nothing but education. Selling is talking to your audience and saying, what do you need? What do I do that could help you to succeed? Because here's what it comes right down to. If you're helping some other business to grow and succeed, you're not selling anything at all. All you're doing is being helpful. And when it comes down to feeling as though you don't want to sell, anytime that you feel like you're selling, that's not where you need to be. You need to go, what can I do for you? How can I help you? Because every person in this room, because I know Rita, every person in this room has their own gifts and talents and background. And every one of you can be of value to the people that you are in contact with, that you are working with, that are in business as well and need help. So everybody needs to tap into their own authority, into their own value, not in a way of ego, but in a way of, I have knowledge that can help you to move further, faster, without stumbling. And this comes back again to what Rita was talking about with tribe. If you are in front of your tribe and they are looking to you for answers, if you give them answers, never feel that that's selling anything. Backing up on that, she's right. Every single person in this room needs to monetize, or you won't be in business, to give people the help that they need, to answer their questions, and to be there for them to help them to grow. Does that make sense? I can't see anybody, so I don't know if there's questions or anything along the way here. Rita, you're going to have to clue me in.
Let's see if we have any questions in the room. And we have microphones, so you can just talk comfortably.
Okay, and ideas on how to monetize the type of service that I have.
Okay.
So what my business does, we partner with businesses. We help them with the administration part of the business, insurance, benefits, payroll, and we're talking about like doing something digital to where you can monetize off of it. How can I monetize off of that, or even produce something that would be of value? And this is new to me, this field that I'm in, this industry that I'm in. So I've been for like a year. And I do want to try and figure out how to reach people online. LinkedIn is one way, but I like where this is going, where you're talking about monetization strategies. Workshops maybe. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out how, in my industry, what could I come up with? What can I do?
That's what we're here for.
Yeah, that will help educate the client, help them grow, but also help me generate revenue as well. Because it's not all the time that I'm going into a place and I'm able to partner with them. So commission and things like that, that's sporadic. That's not anything that's ongoing.
Well, you're a great example, because almost any business could follow this same path here. What you need to do, first of all, is you need to take a step back. You need to either dialogue with someone that you know, or just dialogue with yourself. Doesn't make any difference how you do it. And you need to document every single step of the journey that you take your clients through. I understand that's a new industry to you, but there are commonalities to every client. So when you come in, if you have someone that hires you to help them, to set them up, document every step of that, not in front of a client, but just in conversation with people that you know, people that you trust, or even with yourself. In what steps do you take? That's your very first step, is to have your own roadmap of, this is what I do. Then what you can do with that is start looking at it and go, what are the questions? What are the questions that I get when I present this to someone? What are the questions I get when I say to someone, you need self-employment insurance, or you need business insurance, or you need to invest in, I don't know your industry, but the basic idea behind it is the same for every industry. You do the same thing with all of your clients to get results. Now, there are bells and whistles and upsells and downsells and sideways sells and everything else that you do with every client that you work with. But there is one straight path that you know every single person needs this, whatever this is. When you have that documented out on paper, and you can draw it out, you can do it online, you can make a lucid chart, you can go into Canva. I mean, there are a gazillion ways that you can put this together. But my recommendation is to start with a notebook and a pen and go step one. And then as you go through it, you'll remember, oh, you know, actually there's a step before step one, or there's a half step after step one. And then what you do is you go back in and you make a mess and you fill it all out. Once you have that document and you really are comfortable with the idea of, we start here and these are the questions that I ask, these are the things that people need. This one may branch off over here, this one may branch off over there, but that all the steps are in this. Then you can put it into a form online that people can see, and then you can start writing copy around it. You start teaching people, why do you need this step? Why is step 13 important? Why is it the linchpin to everything? Once you have all your steps in place, then you go back and you start creating a story. And it's all about telling stories. People don't want to hear dry facts and figures. They want to hear stories. They want to hear a story about a business that didn't have business insurance and an earthquake hit and what happened. And it doesn't have to even be real. You can go through social media. You can go and search online for stories that support what your steps are and why they're important, because they're just illustrative stories. If you're new in this business and you don't have real life stories from people that have experienced things, just borrow the idea and create your own story around it as a this could happen. I'm not saying, I am never saying to shade the truth, but if you're saying, I want to tell you a story I heard about this, right? That's real. This is something that people need to know. They are confused. They need you to walk them through this process. You need other people around you that are going to support you as you're doing this process, because this is not something you do in an afternoon. This is a document you're going to probably keep the entire time you're in business and keep adding to. Because as you add more lines, or as things change, as everything always changes, you're going to need to redo it. But if you have an actual roadmap of when people come to you and you figure out what their business is, the commonalities that every single person needs, and then the add-ons and the bells and the whistles and all of that can be done for each individual person. So getting back a little bit to what Rita was talking about, this whole process becomes so much easier when you start to attract a tribe of people around you, because you could ask them questions. You can ask them questions like, hey, you know, you've been in business for a while here. What have you found that's missing? Ask them questions. They will tell you what they're missing. They will tell you what they feel they need. And then you can help them with the idea of, do you really need that? Or maybe there's this over here that would be better for you. Because guess what? Sales is nothing but conversation. I have talked to thousands of business owners in my time. I have sold millions of dollars of different products. I have never once had a sales call. I have had thousands of sales conversations, but they're just conversations. Because nobody wants to be sold to. All they want is help and advice. And if you can do that, guess what? Suddenly you are the authority figure. Suddenly you are the go-to figure. And this is what Rita's talking about with the idea of community. If you gather people by saying, I am going to teach you this piece, I'm going to teach you step 17 and a half, whatever. And you run a workshop around that within a group, then you have people. Then you have people that are going to look to you to make certain that you are there and that they can reach you with this idea of, will you help me? Yes, you have to make money. Yes, you have to charge them, but guess what? They're expecting that because you have authority. You have the knowledge that they need, and everybody is willing to pay for the knowledge that they need. They just don't want to feel pushed into something that they don't know anything about. That's why conversation is so important. This is why in 2025, all of us, Rita, myself, and Abigail, who's working with us as well, we all feel that this is the year of community and collaboration. Because guess what? Everybody needs help. And the more people you can gather into a room and say, I'm going to give you a bunch of information, you guys talk about it, and I'm here to help you, the more they're going to want more of you, the more they're going to want more help, and the more they're going to be willing to say, hey, you've already given me so much. How do I get more of you? And they expect you to charge for that because they don't want to take advantage of you. You've been nothing but helpful. This is where you have a paid site and a free site, because the free site, you give it all away, you help them, you do all kinds of things in there. The paid site is for those that are serious about growing their business. They want to monetize, they want your help. So that's where the charge comes in. And there are so many ways to move people from one to the other and to bring people in. What we have done with the Grow Method Training Lab is put together something that is not dependent on social media. And this is hugely important. And the reason it's hugely important is because social media right now is absolutely nuts. And you never know when you're going to get shut down, and you don't know why, and you can't fix it. As Rita was talking about, Facebook is now suddenly doing algorithms where your posts aren't being seen, even in your own group. They don't allow you to get the email addresses out of your group. I mean, if people give them to you, yes, but you can't require it as a sign-in so that you can actually reach these people and offer them the help that they need. So right now, the pivot is take it into something that you own, that is not owned by someone else. Because it's the only way that you are going to keep control of your business, of your teaching, of your audience, and of a tribe that you can really help.
So, Tammy, you are dropping, you are really dropping some gold. Can you see the slide? I've got up a slide about the Grow Method Training Lab, the VIP launch and onboarding experience.
Yeah, the slide is kind of jumbly on my mind,
It
but
is. You see that here. I'm going to stop share and then I'm going to share it again. And everyone in the room has a printed version of it.
okay.
And let's try that.
It's
No,
okay. It's okay.
jumbly.
The slide is great because, here, honestly, anybody in this room, we're not trying to sell you anything at all. We're trying to show you where there's an option. We are trying to show you where everybody thinks LinkedIn, everybody thinks Facebook, because they have communities. We're looking at those and going, the number of people that I personally have spoken to that suddenly they woke up one morning and their entire community was gone, wherever it was that they had their community, and they could not get it back. And they didn't have access to those people anymore. And suddenly they had no business because they had put everything in one place that they didn't own. And that scares me as a business owner, as a business person, and for the people that I work with. That absolutely terrifies me, to look at somebody that could be growing a 6, 7, 8-figure business and have, 50, 90% of it gone overnight because of some algorithm that you can't fight. And this is the world we live in today.
You can't talk to a person. Your
Yes.
group disappears and you can't pick up the phone and say, what happened? Let me fix it. You can't talk to anybody.
No, and you'll never know why, and it may or may not reappear someday. I mean, at one point I was banned from Facebook and I had no idea why. I hadn't even been on Facebook literally in like weeks. And so I went in and opened a new Facebook account just simply so that I could message people to say, hey, because I do a lot with Messenger. And then 2 weeks later, all of a sudden it reappeared. And I, to this day, have no idea why. Nobody said anything to me. It just was gone. Now it was back. And, this is one of the things that got me started thinking. We have to have control over our businesses. It used to be back in the day when I first started. I mean, it was a local business. So you could walk into any place that you had a contact and say, hey, I'm sorry, I lost your phone number. And they'd give you their phone number. I mean, you're standing in front of them. That doesn't happen anymore.
Right.
So now we're looking at the idea of how do we protect ourselves, which is a lot of what I'm all about with this. I mean, I know Rita brought me on as a sales expert, but I don't believe that anybody can buy anything unless they come from a place where they feel as though they're being helped and protected. And so this is exactly what we're doing with micro communities, small communities that people own. Now, there's a lot of places that say you can set up a community on this software or here or there or whatever. But the thing is, again, there isn't help. And so this was what was so important to us, was to make certain that anybody that came in, whether it was a free community, a paid community, both, whatever they were doing, that we were able to help them when they came in and onboard them and have times where, you can ask us anything, where we'll come in, where we always will have a group for the owners of our sites. Because the other thing that we believe in strongly is that sense of community and collaboration. And we want to build, our vision is to build our own massive community of communities, so that the people that own those communities can tap into each other's genius and everybody can help everybody. So in other words, if you're in finance and you want to talk to, or you want to have somebody come into your group and present about, say, buying real estate, if you're not, but there's a group over here, there's a group of owner over here that teaches people how to buy and sell or flip or whatever in real estate. They can come into your community and present to your community what that community needs. You can do the same thing back, reciprocal to them. And what you have is this massive group of experts you can tap into, knowing that they're all doing the same thing you're doing. So they're likely to be like-minded, and that we also are looking at the idea, obviously, of having a group just for the owners, so that we can answer questions, so we can help people grow, so that we can have this community within the communities. I know that Skool, which many of you may have heard of, which offers membership sites, they have a group of owners, but it's a mess. It's just, it's free for all in there. And they have too many people in there, and they have people that don't even own sites anymore. And it's just a mess. We're not looking for something like that. We're looking for something where people are really going to support each other.
Yeah,
Also-
and not to berate Skool, they have their own model.
Yeah.
However, when you join a Skool group, you are marketed to by all the other school groups. Come and join
Right.
us, come and join us, come and join us. And so therefore, if you own a school group, all the other people on Skool are trying to also get your people. So
Well, and on top of that, you don't have any option on what it looks like or how it feels, because Skool doesn't allow you to brand. And that's the other thing that we wanted to be very clear on, is that all of these communities that we're helping people to get into will be branded under you, not under somebody else's name.
Well, and
that's
speaking of that, that leads us to the technology involved. There's a lot of technology involved in starting and running a community.
Yep.
And some of you may be thinking, yeah, that all sounds good, but I don't know the first thing about how to do that, and I don't want to know.
That's me.
She doesn't want to know. I know, I'm the one that knows. So there are three of us in this partnership, and I'm the tech. So we are building the entire platform with your brand colors, your logos, exactly how you want your people to interact with each other. We do all that. It is turnkey. So our vision is, the influencer can just walk in and go, I'm here. Let's do this thing. Let's have fun. You can have fun with your people. You can teach. You don't have to worry about how that is connected. My CRM is pulling this and my website is doing that. You don't have to worry about any of that. It all happens behind the scenes, and that's me and my team that takes
Which is
care of
amazing. Which is, in my mind, I mean, that's where I go. That's just so incredible. I can't even believe it. So, because again, your time is valuable. And, do you want to be a tech expert and a salesperson and a teacher and a presenting every single thing to every single person in your group? And back to what Rita mentioned earlier with community managers, that's the other side of this, besides the fact that we're providing kind of built-in experts amongst the groups, is we are gathering together a group of vetted and trained community managers. So you don't have to go out and find them, that you can talk to and see if their mindset fits with yours. And then you can hire the hours that you need in order to help you run your community. I mean, you're welcome if you already have your own community manager, your own VA, your own assistant, your own second. That's great. It's just available, because that's the other thing that is not available anywhere else. We can provide you with the human capital that you need as well as the tech capital that you need. We can't provide you with the knowledge of your industry and your business. That's on you. You have to know how to run your business. We can provide you with other people that can help you within the community and within our own personal communities. But that's the fun part for most business owners, is doing what it is they went into business to do. So we're trying to break this down so that everything is pretty much done for you turnkey, other than you sharing your genius with your tribe and helping them. So Rita just flipped the slide, and it's true. We are literally right now opening our founding membership to just 5 people, because this is a labor intensive process here of getting people in. Once it's built out, once everything is the way that you want it, you have your community manager, you have everything, your course is up, you have everything looking like you want it to look, et cetera, et cetera. We want you to be able to just walk in and say, hey, this is fabulous. So we can't just offer it to the masses. That's not what this is. This is making it for you. So it's a very, very personal done for you.
And these 5 founding members, we have amazing special, huge discounts for these 5 people, because we want you to tell us, oh, I don't like that it does this, or can we make it do that? And this, when I clicked here, then it broke, right? We want you to try to break it, because then when we sell it to hundreds of other influencers, it'll work like clockwork. And you get the benefit of being one of the first 5, and you get to help us, and you get a big, nice, juicy discount.
So
For
this is a platform that houses your community,
That's right.
and you all sort of just manage
We are, right.
everything, but we come with the education.
That's
But
right.
all the tech and all that, you all have that all managed.
And you bring your tribe. And
Yeah.
a lot of people feel like, oh, I don't have hundreds or thousands. You do not have to have a large following. You can have 20 or 30 or 50. And the other beautiful thing about this platform is it's designed in such a way that the group grows on its own. And so therefore the influencer doesn't have to be, again, all about how am I going to grow my group.
All the interaction.
You just be yourself, and you lead and educate and make it fun. If that's what the group is about, is fun. Draw all on everything you know how to do, and the group grows on its own, because your followers are inviting their friends naturally. And you'll know who invited the most, and you can reward them as well. And so
Friendly
that's
competition in there.
Co-opetition,
So we make it a
yeah.
game. So we make it a game for people to win.
So we're very, very excited for our first 5 founding members. We really are just thrilled to be, we've been working on this a few months and we're ready and we want to bring on those people and start serving communities.
I like the idea.
Yes, yes. All right. So there's a QR code on the screen and then you have that same thing on the flip side of your paper there. And that's going to get you an appointment with Tammy. So it'll be a conversation.
Exactly. I don't do
learn and
sales,
learn.
guys. So,
Yeah.
but I'll answer any question you have. And if you come to me with something like, how do I present this or how do I sort this or whatever else, remember, I've been in sales and marketing since 1982. And to be completely honest with you, the foundations of sales and marketing have not changed at all during that time frame. Only the tools have changed. And I am a big tool person. And so you want to talk about AI, I can talk about AI. If you want to talk about doing things in your own way by hand, we talk there too. Because I'm not ever sold on how something should be done. I will offer suggestions of different things that then we can talk about.
I'm just trying to get Tammy back up on the screen.
We keep going back and forth between us.
Oops, I just removed
There
her.
we go.
Well, here we go. We're both on there. Okay.
That works. I'm all for it. So right now, any other questions from people? I mean, that I can answer because I am here to help. I mean, Rita asked me to come on and see if I could bring some value to her tribe. And the best way I can bring value is answering questions.
Yeah. So for example, does anybody have one? Because I can tell you another little anecdote. So I have a tribe. I have a membership every month. It's called Automation Nation. And it's just made up of regular everyday business people who either are curious about how to automate tasks in their business or are using automation in their customer database and sending out those emails and making appointments and sending reminders for appointments and things like that. And they just have questions. And so you pay the same amount every month. And I have office hours twice a month, and it includes unlimited email, Q&A. And I built my own little parameters of what's included. I can always add more stuff. And people pay me every month for that. And then we have, in fact, tomorrow is one of the office hours every month, twice a month. And I'm bringing my community into this platform. And so I don't have to deal with algorithms. However, I can market my community on Facebook and LinkedIn, and people can join my community from there. So you're not totally separated from all the other wonderful stuff that we have access to. Does anybody have ideas well, first of all, do you have a community already that you have organized into a group of people?
Not an organized community.
Not yet.
I have a community.
You have a
It's not
community.
organized.
And so what are your thoughts on what you could, like I was saying, I do office hours twice a month. I do unlimited email Q&A. Some people have a master class every month. Some people have in-person get-togethers, like we have this in-person get-together. What kind of thoughts do you think would serve your group? What would they want from you? Like they want attention from you and they want access to you. So what could you do you think, for your group?
Well, what I can do for them is not in line with what I'm doing, though.
Okay.
That's the conflict, kind of, sort of. So, well, I would say, of course, I want to draw people on what I'm doing now. I used to be in the travel business, and that drew a lot of attention and a lot of engagement, but I'm not in the travel business anymore. So if I was to say that's what somebody would want from me, it would be a conversation about travel or questions, Q&A about places to go, things of that nature. But at this present time, as Tammy said, I really need to brainstorm and figure out how I can incorporate make this of interest what I'm doing right now with the community to grow. But insurance is just like boring to people. It was boring to me before I even got
They
involved.
have to be.
It's either
You can make it more exciting. You can tell
Boring.
stories.
Yeah, that's what I've got to
Yeah.
do, because since I've gotten into it, like Tammy said, I'm helping people and I'm educating people. So that's the drive for me, because I know I'm doing something for someone.
and it's coming
else.
from your heart.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. So I want to relay that. I want to build my community around that, but I don't know how.
Okay. What do you think, Tammy? What could her community include?
Community could include, first of all, remember the kind of step-by-step roadmap that I told you to create. Like I said, if you take every step that you ever do and then just go online and start researching a story around X, a story around business insurance. I know business insurance sounds incredibly boring. However, there are going to be tons of stories out there of people that had an alligator crawled in and bit someone's leg. And they were so grateful they had business insurance because guess what? They didn't want to get sued. That is a story that will make people sit up and take notice.
Mhm.
Right?
And I feel like also advice on the timelines. For example, a lot of people, when they first start out, they think, I'm not big enough to need insurance. I'm not fill in the blank enough to need insurance. And so you can educate them when is a good time to buy what kind of insurance and
Yep.
things about an umbrella. That's one of the best things going, right? Is the umbrella. A lot of people just don't know about it. They start a business because they love doing what they love doing, and they start a business doing it. And then there's all these ancillary things they don't know about it.
About protecting the business. And the
And you
legacy.
know what else you could do is things that are ancillary to insurance, you could educate on those things as well. For example, I've taught this thing on, I brought in a sales expert. I've brought in other people, an SEO expert, experts that I am not well-versed in that subject, but I know my audience wants to learn that. The biggest audience we had and the most fun was Real Fun with Phones. We're doing that again. And we literally we first learned about making reels, but then we all took our phones and made reels. That has nothing to do with nothing to do with it. It touches automation because it touches your marketing and your CRM. But you could educate about things and provide wisdom and guest speakers about things that are ancillary to the insurance. For example, the restoration companies that would come in after you have a disaster in your business to repair and clean up.
Yes.
That's one idea. Roofing company.
And then that gives
And
them.
property manager. You could bring in
Yeah.
property managers. Ooh, I'm on a roll.
I know, you really are. I'm loving it.
Yeah. So that's nice too, because the influencer, the tribe leader, doesn't have to shoulder the entire burden of, as long as you know what your people need and want. So you take what you offer and then you spider out to the other things that touch that. You're going to have plenty of things that you can provide for
Okay,
them.
so now you got my wheels turning. Yeah. Thank you.
All right.
That's what
Very,
sales is all about, is getting people to think. It's all about getting people to understand that something that you have, again, I keep using business insurance because it's the one thing I know a little bit about, but it's all about the idea of a business owner going, I really haven't even thought about that. I've been so busy setting up my business and all of these things. But boy, that story you just told me about the alligator biting someone. Hey, I live in Florida. I don't, but I need to think about that. And it really is. Business owners, the best thing they can do is become storytellers, because that's what people actually respond the best to. Think about little children. How do you teach them? I mean, for eons and centuries, it was a verbal storytelling process that brought the knowledge down from generation to generation. We're still doing that as business owners. We're still teaching the people around us what they need to know. And people learn best in story form.
and that is for sure true. And I'm thinking, Stephanie, for your tribe, your following, all kinds of things touch the healing bowl, the sound bowls, like yoga and Reiki and meditation and aromatherapy. You probably do that as well. And so you bring in the complete whole thing, and some of the things you do or don't do, but you branch and you're still serving the same people, and they're hungry for all of this. So it's making them sticky to you because you have a complete holistic solution to many aspects of what they're dealing with. So what about you, Vernon? So you have short-term rental owners. Yep.
Mhm.
So here's the thing. In your direct service to them is helping them fill it, okay, and buy and sell them.
Mhm.
Okay. So some of the ancillary, like I'm thinking hot tub repair person, right?
Right.
Or even a hot tub dealer installer,
Mhm.
and those kinds of even the games. Sometimes those short-term rentals, they'll have a little game room with pinball machines and things like that. And or just teaching them, here's some things that you can put into your rental that will draw more people, and they'll say, boom, I want it, click,
Right.
I'm going to rent that property. So you can bring them education of things that spider out from
And
the
collaboration. You can go and look at, if you're not there, you can look at a Google map. I know of one gentleman who has properties that he does short-term rentals with. And he said one of the biggest contracts that he ever signed was he was there and he was just walking around and he ended up talking to a grocery store. And that owner wanted to market to the people who came in to explain to them that he delivered. He wanted to leave like little treats in there for them so that they would, pay attention. And this guy did a collaboration with that grocery store that ended up serving like 5 of his properties in the area.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, other people's audiences. Keep this in mind. Using other people's audiences really, really helps. So you're going to the grocery store owner who might actually introduce you to the dry cleaner, because on vacation sometimes things get messy, or the ice cream store, which leads to the dry cleaner, or to an amusement park in the area. And so all of these things, hotels have been doing this forever and ever, but they do it in such a non-personal way. Whereas a short-term rental owner, you can ask the people in the area to do fun stuff. They can do little baskets. They can do tickets. They can do discounts. There's so many ways of doing this. And what it does is it's just even, again, building a tribe right around that property. And that helps the people that come to you that want to be involved in having a short-term rental of, hey, look at all the different things you can do.
Yeah, and in the world of someone who's interested in getting started, that's just a plethora of things you could teach about.
Yep.
And selling, when is it the right time to sell? Why would you sell? How do you even find someone to, which is you're the answer
Right.
to that. Yeah. It's always great when you're the answer to what
yeah.
you're teaching without being self-serving.
Right.
Yeah.
So Veronica, I'm thinking we've had ideas for everybody. So Veronica is extremely specialized, I would say, right? You write code and you build websites. And some people that you could partner with and you could educate your audience on, oh my gosh, websites. You know what you should do is make a list of all the horrible things you've seen on websites.
What
Or
people
how
should do about it.
don't work right, or they work poorly, or they're poorly organized. And you could teach about all that to your audience. And some people in your audience could be the managed services providers. Is that what they're called? People who do the tech for the end user, like Nurse to Go is one of them. And Solomon IT is another one. If I own a business, I would hire them to do all my tech because I don't have my own tech department, right?
Or if you write code, you talk to businesses that need their own app.
Yeah. Do you write apps?
Sorry, I couldn't hear what you said.
She said talk to businesses who need their own app.
Oh, yeah.
Do you build apps?
I hate building.
Yeah. Okay. Well then, see,
I
you
like
would not,
fixing things.
but you could partner with someone who does. And that way, when someone in your tribe says, I want an app, you can say, I gotcha. I got you.
Mhm.
Right? So you can partner with people and you can have them come and speak to your audience. And there's no competition because you don't want to do that anyway. But you know it's something that your audience wants and needs. All right. We've gone full circle with everyone in the room. Let me see if we have comments online. Oh yeah, so we're live on YouTube and Facebook, but LinkedIn's not playing well with us today. So it'll be on there though. It'll be on there. All right, so we still have time. Anybody have any? I'm excited because it looks like some of you are thinking, I could have a community. I could do this. You don't have to even charge for your community. You could just start out with a unpaid. But we'll hope that you would consider the Grow Method Training Lab and become one of the 5 founding members. And like I said, when you follow that QR code, you're going to have a meeting with Tammy. So you already know her. You feel pretty comfortable with her, I hope. And we just really want the tribe, the new wave of leadership with BU. And you may not be comfortable calling yourself an influencer, but that's one of the phrases, one of the terms of, but you are. It's the people who want and need what you have, and they're following you, and they're hungry and thirsty for what you have to give them. And you can serve and increase your impact, your influence, and your income at the same time.
Yep.
All right, Tammy. Thank you so much for coming. She's here from Minnesota.
Well, I didn't exactly walk there. Come on.
Well, true. I made it sound like it was a great feat for her to be here, but yeah. She took time out of her day, and I really appreciate it. Any more questions for Tammy? No, we're going to probably brainstorm here for another little bit. And thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It worked out perfectly timing wise. Lovely to meet you all, and hope to talk to some of you soon.
Good meeting you too, Tammy.
Thank you, Kim.
Thank
Bye,
you.
guys.
Bye-bye. Okay. All right. So I'm just actually going to end the live here. We'll see you next time. Knoxville Business Growth Collaborative coming to you live on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. Take care.